Year marks the 50th anniversary of Christian Aid Week. Christian Aid believes that the appalling plight of tens of millions of people forced from their homes demands a stronger and braver response from the world community. Today, we are here in London trying to achieve that with Christian Aid.
Hi, my name is Sarah Wilson, and I took part in the writing of the Christian Aid Week report, which is designed to highlight one aspect of global poverty. This year we looked at forced migration, which is a growing problem and which we fear will, by the year 2050, result in 1 billion people, which is a sixth of the world's population, being forced to leave their homes, which is a huge number.
Now, when you look at this report, can you tell us maybe briefly what this report is all about?
Well, that's the main theme, and we looked at the reasons behind that and visited various countries around the world. We visited Colombia, where a crop, Africa palm, is increasingly being grown, and partly for biofuels, partly for other products that we use in the West. But it means that ordinary farmers, small-scale farmers, are being literally forced from their land at gunpoint, often by paramilitaries in Colombia. Another country that we visited was Burma, where large-scale dam projects have what effect it will have on the local population. So people have just had to live in refugee camps.
Now, before we go into the details of those other countries, let's go back home here and look at what we have here. Can you take us through the structures and tell us what the structure is all about?
Well, it's just supposed to represent a refugee camp, the way that hundreds of millions of people are forced to live in the world today. We're comfortable in our homes. We go home and we have hot water, we have food on the table, but so many people in the world don't have that. And one major factor is climate change, and that's something that we in this country can do something about. Climate change I saw for myself in Mali, in West Africa, in the north of that country, in the Sahel region. It's increasingly suffering lack of rainfall. The rainfall is less predictable and just less. There is less of it. People are unable to grow enough crops with the existing rainfall to sustain them through the year. So many people in the dry season have to leave their village, go into a city, or go to another area where there's more irrigation to try and earn enough money to sustain themselves throughout the year.
I know you have answered part of the question that I wanted to ask you, but at the same time, I think for the benefit of my viewers who could be able to answer, why do you think there is this, what has been the causes of this forced migration?
Well, various causes. Sometimes it's conflict, like for instance in Uganda, the war between the Lord's Republican Army and the government has caused one of the largest displacement problems in the world. 1.7 million people are basically without a permanent place to live.
And in the case of a crisis like Uganda, you have been to Mali, and these are two different areas. Uganda has been caused by conflict, and in Mali has been caused by climate change.
Indeed, there are many factors, and climate change is actually one of the most worrying, in the sense that it seems to be accelerating faster and faster. It's difficult to make a direct cause and effect link, but certainly the rainfall statistics from the Mali Met Office themselves show quite a dramatic drop between 1980 and now in the rainfall in the developing world. Basically, the way we've developed since the Industrial Revolution has caused a lot of the problems that we're experiencing now. And as other countries develop, particularly China and India, they need to do it in a cleaner way than we did. We basically have used up the available carbon. Mali, it's heartbreaking that, you know, what we do here, we drive our cars, don't worry about emissions. We maybe think about it a little bit, but when you actually see the effects on the ground, people literally do not have enough to eat because the rainfall that they relied on for thousands of years is just not there. It just doesn't come.